for the first time on the channel, bringing the group EXO. I've heard some of their songs. I have two of their songs on my K-pop playlist that I usually listen to. One of them is the one we'll listen to today, which is Monster. We'll react to the songs Overdose and Monster in this live performance they did. And they took parts of both songs and combined them, making one follow the other. This performance is a medley with several songs in sequence, but these two have the same theme in the lyrics, which talks about a very intense love, overwhelming, that makes a person make wrong decisions, even going after someone who might be dangerous. So, they were put together. EXO is a group I don't follow closely. I just came across their songs in the last 2 years. While researching K-pop, looking for songs that I like, but I can't consider myself a fan of the genre. I just like songs that remind me of nostalgia from the 90s and 2000s. And so, I ended up finding and liking them in the last 2 years. But my favorite genres are classical music, rock, metal, and a bit of electronic music. So, I mentioned to new people who come to the channel through this video that the audience might be a bit different. But let's check out these two songs. It's the first time I'm reacting to them live. I've only seen the music videos that are on my playlist. I've never seen them live, but from what I've seen while searching for videos, it's a group that has already impressed me. So, let's see what they deliver.
Come in. Addicted. 다 들어와. Hey, 모든 걸 걸고 널 들이켰네. 이젠 돌이킬 수도 없다. 이건 분명 위험한 중독. So bad, no one can stop her.
Two guys here with the Asian vocal characteristic, which is always in this voice, placed in a belting, which has a metallic quality, a certain brightness. A voice relatively between nasal and vocal. Not too nasal in the case of these two. This second guy here, he has a different voice from the first one, because it's a bit more placed in the palate. Slightly more nasal, even. They are very secure and comfortable. That's very noticeable. The loose movement. And the voice very well projected.
이건 분명 위험한 중독. So bad, no one can stop her. Hold up, 오직 그것만 봐라. 그녀의 사랑 하나뿐인걸.
This voice, I recognize. It's from what I've heard, from the two songs I have of theirs on my playlist. He also has this voice placed in the palate. A certain cover, more here in the forehead. Not so projected, in the sense of being a full and rounded voice. That's not the case for him. He has a more metallic voice, with a bit more harmonics, which are there, more high-pitched.
So bad, no one can stop her. Hold up, 오직 그것만 봐라. 그녀의 사랑 하나뿐인걸.
The more vocal voice, also more directed here. The resonance toward the mouth as well, from this third guy here, who sang. He went to the limit of his head voice, returning to this mixed or chest voice, which he handled with a lot of delicacy. Very good with this guy. Many singers would go into falsetto on this note, returning, even singers with this timbre, and this apparent vocal range he has. It was good.
그것만 봐라 그녀의 사랑 하나뿐인걸 치명적인 fancy 황홀한 그 안에 취해 Oh she wants me Oh she's got me Oh she hurts me 좋아 더욱 갈망하고 있어 Someone call the doctor 날 붙잡고 말해줘 사랑은 병중독 overdose 시간이 지날수록 통제는 힘들어져 점점 깊숙이 빠져간다 Too much 너야 Your love 이건 overdose
So, the guy who is more to the right, who I think is in blue, I forgot now, but I think he's the tallest one from left to right, the last one. He did an octave lower in the entire melody. He must be the rapper, maybe? Fans, write it down below. It's an extremely deep voice. A baritone, or bass baritone, perhaps. Sorry. And all of them have a very similar timbre, in this mid to high range. I miss vibratos at the ends of phrases. That guy who is the second or third, who is singing more, I think he's wearing black, I forgot now. He does some very short vibratos at the end, without much control. I missed it.
점점 깊숙이 빠져간다 Too much 너야 Your love 이건 overdose Too much 너야 Your love 이건 overdose
So that was the first song. Now they're moving on to Monster. They have a lot of confidence live, singing well. They release their voices very naturally. Very interesting.
몬스터입니다. 뭐야? 네 삶을 다 뒤집어 버리는 게
Very good to know. He does this live. Total confidence in this falsetto attack. I know that. In this performance, on this show, they usually tweak the sound a bit, but there's no auto-tune here. I've already mentioned, watch my first video about Mamamoo, who came from this show. They only equalize the voices to make them the same volume and give them more projection, especially for the notes that are lower, so that they are as audible and rounded as the high notes. They only adjust that. But you can notice inaccuracies and flaws. Usually, he here is really in the song. He does exactly this attack, very precise on this falsetto note, which is not an extreme head voice note, because it has a bit less volume. There's some breathiness, although they tweaked the audio a lot, removing the breathiness, which I don't like. But he went and returned to the voice, mixed and chest voice, and very well. Total uniformity. This is quite low for him. This note already has a lot of breathiness. It came very much into the vocal region. He's a light tenor.
I'm sorry, you make me so crazy. You know you do.
He even did a super falsetto up there. This is a belting, one of the most beautiful beltings I've ever heard. A belting with the characteristic of a Michael Jackson. It's very aggressive, with a lot of brightness, very open, within the characteristic of his voice, which is already this metallic and bright voice. It brought an aggressiveness. Very beautiful.
I'm sorry, you make me so crazy. You know you do.
Very good what he did here. He does this in the recorded version too. And here he delivered. I'm impressed.
소화만 터쳐보면 근데 내 진심은 왜 결국에 날 거부 못해 숨어서 훔쳐보다가 깜짝 놀라지 내게 난 진호미 같은 난 내 존재의 일부 날 그대로
So the two at the ends. Who are the tallest? They are rappers. That's it.
진심은 왜 결국에 날 거부 못해 숨어서 훔쳐보다가 깜짝 놀라지 내게 난 진호미 같은 난 내 존재의 일부 날 그대로 받아들여 나의 두려움 걱정은 접어두려 네가 견딜만한 고통을 누려 더 깊이 빠져들어 널 맘대로 가지고 놀아 내 손에서 마음껏 놀아 도망가지 마 너 영원히
I like this beat. This offbeat rhythm.
Turururu, turururu, turururu.
This is a beat very characteristic of African culture, and also Afro-Brazilian. Even with instruments from that time, very much from religious lines, and songs from my own country, and Africa as well, has this beat, and it carries you. Very beautiful, and they fed it into this pop song, and that's what won me over in this song. It's very interesting. It turned out beautiful within the entire musical context.
나의 두려움 걱정은 접어두려 네가 견딜만한 고통을 누려 더 깊이 빠져들어 널 맘대로 가지고 놀아 내 손에서 마음껏 놀아 도망가지 마 너 영원히 맴돌아 You can call me monster I'm creeping in your heart babe 뒤집고 무너뜨리고 삼켜 그래 널 훔쳐탐닉해 널 망쳐놓을 거야 네 맘속에 각인된 채 영원히
The guy in the middle really has a predominant voice, which combines in him the quality of all the other guys. They have a relatively similar timbre, but he is probably the leader. Write to me below. But at least vocally, you can tell he is more predominant, his voice. He has a lot of power in the high notes. The guy to his left, who is the third from right to left. The three in the center, actually, they have a quality in the high notes and in using belting, which is very strong. They are very secure, with the natural aggressiveness, the brightness that belting brings. But it doesn't sound forced or shouted. They really master the technique. And they have different characteristics. I stopped here. The three in the center. The one who is first from right to left. He has a voice a bit more nasal. The one in the center has the most balanced voice across the mask, and the one with slightly longer hair. Who is the third from right to left of these three here? He has a voice more placed in the palate. They have different characteristics in their timbres. Very interesting. 널 망쳐놓을 거야 네 맘속에 각인된 채 영원히 살래 Come here girl The guy in the center is also the one who adds vibratos at the ends of phrases. He has mastery of this technique. 망쳐놓을 거야 네 맘속에 각인된 채 영원히 살래 Come here girl You call me monster 내 맘으로 들어갈게 Up there, in the high notes, he did it in falsetto. Transitioned, with a lot of uniformity and delicacy as well. That's very good. Creeping, 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 creeping. Creeping, 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 creeping. And a phrase with vibrato. Very beautiful, his voice indeed. Perfect. What they do in the studio, they delivered here. I'd like to hear this performance on stage. I'll look for it and react. I'll react to this song again on stage. I want to see how they deliver. This one at the end. Very beautiful, the phrasing he did entirely in falsetto.
Creeping, creeping. Shoo. Oh, creeping.
Nice. The falsetto with vibrato at the end. Transition to mixed or chest voice. Here, chest voice. But low for him. It was good. Very good, this group indeed. It's worth watching. Their live performances. And I want to hear them on stage. I want stage. Because the story changes completely. The story changes, and things. Many variables and difficulties are added, where the vocal technique of the singer is put to the test. This is something I comment on a lot here, especially in the performances of the group Baby Monster, the group XG, who choose to do performances where the girls are singing with a microphone. Baby Monster even does it with a band. And the girls go through all the difficulties, and this takes the group's growth to an extreme level. Well, anyway, it's what Western pop singers do. The delivery is live, pure voice and upfront. So, I want to hear them live. If you enjoyed this video here, leave your comment, your like below, and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. Also consider making a donation through the super thanks button or in the first comment in the pinned link. Alright, see you later.